that ball game that was played, as the Eights now with Justin Houlette on the mound will go against Blake Aarons and the Mandan Chiefs in game number 2. Looking for that split and to take then 3 of 5 games against Mandan here this year, as both teams are 2-2 right now going into this 5th and final game these two teams will meet this season, obviously being the year where there is only state tournaments and nothing more after that. They would have no chance of meeting in a regional if both teams would win the state championship. But here is their final game of the season against these opponents, as the Eights will look for that split between both against Mandan before they head home Friday against Spearfish to finish out the 2020 regular season, and then we'll see where they will sit in the standings. Renner with the win. I believe Greg Dean, who will be back joining me here in just a little bit, Renner has jumped Pierre in the standings after that win. So that is a one that for Post State, those 2 wins against Spearfish will be crucial, but would also hurt the seed points as well, because they only get 41 points out of those 2 wins instead of a 44-point win or a 47-point win because of the Spearfish's record so far here in the 2020 season. Blake Aarons is on the mound here for the Mandan Chiefs. As we look at his stats, Aarons, believe he has not thrown against Post State so far this season out of the 3 games, or the 4 games now that we have seen in the Mandan Chiefs. As for Post State, they will throw Justin Houlette out on the mound. Houlette he did throw against Mandan. He went 4 innings in his first start of giving up 6 runs. 4 of those were earned and 3 strikeouts. We'll go more about that here in just a little bit, as when Post State when they take the field in the bottom of the first inning. Just about set here for baseball in game number 2. Post State looking for that split. Garrett Stout will lead things off as we are just about underway, as Aarons has finished up his warm-up tosses. So, Greg, as you said, it was Renner to get in the win, and they're going to jump Post State in the standings to number 4 with that win.
Yeah, unofficially, by my math, it looks as though Renner will jump from 5th to 4th with that win over Mitchell. Now, the upside for Post State is that Renner does have a doubleheader with Sioux Falls East on Thursday. In order for them to stay in that 4 spot, they would have to sweep Sioux Falls East. If they lose 1 game of that doubleheader, they would drop back into that 5th spot.
Count is 0-2 here to Stout. The 0-2 pitch, that is grounded to the left side. It'll be fielded by the third baseman, and the throw to first is in time from Avery Bogner, and the leadoff man is retired. Here to open up the ball game, as that'll go to now Cade Hinkle. As we can go around the horn here after Hinkle's at-bat of where everybody is stationed for the Mandan Chiefs. The first pitch to Hinkle, there's a swing and a miss, and it's 0-1. As shadows have pretty much overtaken from the mound to home plate. There's a little bit of sunlight still kind of peeking through right behind the mound. The 0-1 is upstairs, and it's now 1-1 here to Cade Hinkle, who in that first game went 1 for 4 with a triple and an RBI. The 1-1 pitch. Hinkle will float it out into center field, and that's down for a base hit. First hit of the ball game here for the Eights. And then to bring up the number 3 hitter, A.J. Gaden, his first plate appearance here today in this doubleheader.
Yeah, just a nice swing from Cade Hinkle on that fastball from the Mandan pitcher, and just laced it out into left center field, and we'll see if the Eights can make something out of this 1-out single with A.J. Gaden at the plate.
First pitch is outside for ball 1 to A.J. Gaden. As we go around the horn defensively, it is Johnson out in left field, Andreessen in center, Jablonski in right. Bogner is at third. Then at short is Burgum. Kuntz is at second. And Wine at first. And behind the plate is Huddle. as it's now 2-0. Hinkle tried to get that jump early, but he was unable to steal actually second base because he jumped, had to stop, and never got going again. There's a line shot. There's a base hit for A.J. Gaydon, and it's now first and second here with one down as Gaydon is now 1 for 1 in his first plate appearance. McGuire Rasky, he will step to the plate.
Cleanup hitter for post 8, the first baseman.
In the
McGuire
first base here
Rasky.
in game number 2. Rasky in that first game went 1 for 5 with a single, and he scored that lone time he reached base. Here's the first pitch to Rasky. There's a ground ball to the right side. Fielded by the second baseman. The only play is the first from Kuntz, and that will retire Rasky, moving both base runners up 90 feet. And it'll bring up Bennett Dean with a big RBI chance here in the top of the first inning.
Designated hitter.
Dean, then Jake Mayer,
Bennett Dean.
if Dean is able to reach base with 2 down here in the top of the first inning. First pitch from the starting pitcher and Blake Aarons to Dean is over for strike 1. You look at Dean's numbers coming into this ball game. He is hitting .235. Does have 1 home run, 6 runs driven in, hit a 3-run homer against the Aberdeen Smitties. That was off the pitcher of Aarons. He threw his glove behind it. It gets into left field, and both runs will score. It's an RBI, 2-out single from Bennett Dean. And it's a 2-0 lead here for Post State. And a break, which could have gone up the middle anyway for a base hit, but it turns into an easy break for Bennett Dean to get a base hit, and he bring both runs in.
Yeah, and like you said, it's a break for Post State, and one of those situations where Aaron's tried to glove the ball. If he doesn't get a glove on the ball, like you said, it goes probably right over the top of second base, and at least 1 run scores. But because of the fact that Aaron's deflected the ball, the shortstop had already committed to go up the middle, couldn't reverse his course, and the ball actually squirted into short left field, and both runs were able to score on the play.
Count his own 1 here to Jake Mayer. Bennett Dean will take off for a second. There's going to be a late throw to second. Dean will slide in safely as Huddle didn't get a good grip of that, and it's now 1-1 count here to Jake Mayer as Dean takes second base and in scoring position. 2 runs on 3 hits so far here at the top of the first inning. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Mayer. Upstairs for ball 2, and it's now 2-1.
Jake Mayer, it's his ninth game of the year. 1 hit and 10 at-bats so far. He does have a run scored and no walks on the year. 182 on-base percentage for the rising senior.
2-1 pitch is a good cut, but it's missed, and it's now 2-2. Here to the second baseman, giving Andrew Coverdale the game off over at second.
Something you haven't seen very much of this year. I think really the only couple of games that Coverdale has missed has been the 2 that he was at his guard drill for.
The right fielder Jablonski will come over to make the catch from Jake Mayer's fly out to right field, and that will retire the side here in the top of the first. 2-run score on 3 hits in the inning, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After a half inning, Post State has taken a 2-0 lead over Mandan. You're listening to Post State Baseball. Today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com.
1 left on base.
Here in the bottom of the first inning, as we go through the starting lineup again for the Mandan Chiefs, it will be Anthony Johnson, Stenson Kuntz, and then Isaac Huddle, followed by Cole Schmidt, the DH, Lucas Burgum, Easton Andreessen, Avery Bogner, Tate Jablonski, and Jacob Wyan will be those 9 hitters. First pitch is over for strike one from Justin Houlette. As Houlette will get an opportunity to face Mandan for the second time. The first time he threw 4 innings, he gave up 6 runs. 4 of those were earned and had 3 strikeouts. The 0-1 pitch will be a check swing and bounce to the backstop, and it's now 1-1.
For Houlette, this is his 6th appearance on the year. He has thrown 11 innings so far for the Eights. He does have 1 start. He's 0-2 on the year. 4 strikeouts in those 11 innings to go with an 11.46 ERA for the senior and soon to be engineering major at the South Dakota School of Mines and Technology in Rapid City.
2-1 is over, and now 2-2 to Justin Houlette. So you're saying he's a lot smarter than both of us combined.
Well, that's a pretty low bar, at least for me. I don't know why you.
that is true. That doesn't take much.
I know you well enough that your bar is set a lot higher than mine is.
I'm not sure about that one. 2-2 is fouled back. I guess I should have realized what I was saying, because that's not a compliment to Justin Houlette at all, that he's smarter than both of us.
Well, we were going to start a runner on the 10-yard line in overtime in the last game.
That's right. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Johnson. That is just a bit outside. And it's now 3-2. Houlette almost had a leadoff strikeout to open up the bottom of the first inning. Here's the payoff pitch to Johnson. That one will be fouled out of play and remains at 3-2.
Yeah, for Houlette to be effective, he's got to be down in the zone. He's not going to overpower you with his fastball, but when he has control and is able to command the strike zone and be down and make hitters push balls into the ground, he can be very effective, just like he did with Johnson there in that first at bat.
There's a foot race to first base, and Rasky just beat Johnson over to the bag. And there's now 1 down. That'll bring up Stetson Kuntz, the second baseman.
Played by the first baseman.
Kuntz in the game number 1, he went 2 for 4 in the ball game. Came up to the plate 6 different times. A lot of these guys came to the plate several times, but he went 2 for 4. He had 2 different sacrifices: a sac fly for an RBI and also a sac bunt. The first pitch is over for strike 1. He saved the ball game in the top of the 8th inning with a diving play to retire the man at the plate in Cade Hinkle. If he does not make that play, it's probably a 16-15 lead for Post State, and that's a complete different look going into the bottom of the 8th inning. But his diving play at second gave that momentum to Mandan to finish out the ball game. 1-1 count. The pitch is missed, and it's now 2-1 to the second baseman in Kuntz.
Yeah, and what I've seen so far out of Houlette is that he has been down in the zone. If he's missed, he's been low, and so that's a good sign for Justin Houlette early in this game. You really hope he can continue and really eat up some innings after the Eights used 4 different pitchers in that first game.
2-2 pitch. That one is fouled off of Kuntz's leg, and it remains at 2-2. With 1 down here in the bottom of the first inning. Throwback night for Post State. Even though they're on the road, they will wear those throwbacks on Friday as well to finish out the regular season against Spearfish. 2-2 pitch. That one is over for strike 3, and Justin Houlette has his first strikeout of the ball game, and there's 2 down, and that will bring up Isaac Huddle, the catcher here in this second game. He was a third baseman in game 1 and went 3 for 4 in the game. A sac fly, RBI, drew a walk, and also hit 3 legs of the cycle. He just missed the home run, had a double, triple, and a single. First pitch is missed for ball 1.
So if he hit legs of it, is that called a milking stool? I'm sorry.
Here's the 1-0 pitch.
That's too much of an ag reference. I apologize.
I'm a city guy over here, even though I live in South Dakota. Count is 2-0 here to Isaac Huddle. That one is now 3-0. Well, and it didn't really know how to respond to that one either, which also is not too much of a surprise. Usually at least one time in the broadcast, I don't know how to answer whatever you say.
Well, welcome to the Dean household.
Count is 3-1. I think Bradley, Blake, and if they're listening right now, they would agree with me. And if we tell Bennett after the game, that he would also agree. There's a walk to Isaac Cuddle, and there is now
designated hitter for your Chiefs.
1 on and 2 outs. Here's Cole Schmidt. Speaking of Missouri, Cole Schmidt's got Nelly as his walk-up music, the St. Louis guy.
Yep. Actually,
somehow to tie that in there, I'm surprised I was able to figure out a way to tie that in there.
Actually, was thinking about you earlier today. I went down to fill my car up with gas, and as I was coming back, I saw a car with 36 license plates on it, but a St. Louis Blues license plate holder, and I knew it wasn't you.
I was saying, I do have a St. Louis Blues license plate holder. That was a fly ball, and making a sliding catch as Elliot Life found center field to end the inning. Boy, we're sitting here talking about license plates, and Elliot Life's making a great play out in center field to end the bottom of the first, as we have a 2-0 lead for Post State after the first inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, one man left on base. We head to the top of the second. Post State leads Mandan 2-0. Listen to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here, top of the second inning, 7-8-9. Kobe Carr, Will Van Camp, and Elliot Life to lead things off here for the A's. They lead 2-0 after a two-run inning out of 3 hits in that top of the first inning. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean, the great comedian in Greg Dean, as he is filled with jokes every single time we come to the ballpark.
Boy, I tell you, if that's what passes for comedy in your life, Winkler, I fear for your future.
Well, yeah. Again, I have no answer to that. Kobe Carr will lead things off. He's the right fielder here in the game number 2.
I guess it makes us laugh. I mean, that's the important thing.
That's right. Laughter is the best medicine. I guess I should say sometimes pity laugh is also a good thing too. Here's the first pitch. Carr will drop down a bunt down the third baseline, but it'll roll foul. And it's 0-1.
Good decision by Carr to try to catch the third baseman back and possibly sleeping, and just the ball was just fouled by a couple of feet. Otherwise, I think with Carr's speed, the future Dakota Wesleyan Tiger football and track commit would have had first base easily on that play.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Carr will swing and ground that one into the hole at short. Good back into play, long throw, and a good throw from Burgum, but the speed of Carr will beat it out, and he is on at first, but he is hunched over right now, and he will be on with an infield single. Good play by Burgum just to even make that somewhat close over at first base. And now here's Will Van Camp. So Carr is on at first base with nobody out in the leadoff single. Will Van Camp in the second game of the doubleheader back at home on June 24th. As the first pitch is over for strike one. He had the game-tying RBI in the bottom of the 7th that allowed then a couple other guys to get on base before Garrett Stout came up with that walk-off grand slam. But Will Van Camp was a winning pitcher in that game and also had the game-tying RBI, as that is ripped foul down the third baseline, and it's now 0-2.
Will Van Camp, as most of our listeners probably know, the twin brother of Jack Van Camp, comes into this game, 12th game on the year, 4 hits and 23 at bats. He has a double, 5 RBIs on the year to go with a pair of walks, hitting 174.
Down 0-2 in the count. Carr leads away from first. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Outside, a throw back to first. Carr was off the bag. He slipped trying to get back, and he is thrown out at first base on the back pick, and there's one down. And the second time we've seen that today, one from each side, and that'll be the first out, and it's now 1-2 here to Will Van Camp.
And Huddle had a clear throw from his catching position, and like you said, Carr with a pretty aggressive secondary lead down at first base and just slipped as he was going back to first base, even though he was on the turf. And because of that, Huddle with a nice strike down to first base, and Carr was retired, and now Van Camp goes down on strikes.
And that one is on the outside corner for strike three, and it's two quickly down. And here comes Elliott Life, who made that sliding catch out in center field to end the bottom of the first inning. Here's the first pitch to Elliott Life. He'll rip that one down the right field line, but that will drift foul. And it's 0-1.
And we talked about the number of left-handed batters in the lineup for Post 8. In this game, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lefties in the lineup for Post 8. Stout, Hinkle, Rasky, Dean, and Life coming from the left side of the plate.
One's grounded up the middle, and Elliott Life has a 2-out single. And that'll get things back over to the top of the order for Garrett Stouts, who grounded out in his first at-bat. And that is the now 5th hit of the ball game already for Post 8. Trying to extend that 2-0 lead here with 2 down in the top of the second.
Eights actually stack up three consecutive left-handed hitters between Life at number 9 and then Stout and Hinkle at 1-2.
The throw to second, and a good throw pulled off the bag to the first base side, and Burgum just couldn't quite get the tag down. Elliott Life using the smaller frame to sneak underneath that tag as he steals second. Here's the next pitch to Garrett Stout. He will swing and miss, and it's now 1-1. They had 46 miles an hour on the up there on the board, but I don't think that was 46 miles an hour because it got something before the pitch even went across.
But it was definitely an off-speed pitch, and Stout, I think, was looking to put something over the right field fence and try to come up with his 7th home run of the year.
Now it's 1-2 here to Garrett Stout. And he's hit 2 home runs against Mandan on June 24th. He also had 2 home runs in that Rapid City Veterans Classic. 1-2 is skied up in the infield. On the left side, it'll be fielded by the shortstop, and it'll make somewhat of a basket catch, and Burkham to make the play to finish out the top of the second. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 1 man left on base after inning and a half. Post 8 leads Mandan 2-0. You're listening to Post 8 Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Bottom of the second here, as it will be 5, 6, and 7. Burgum, Andreessen, and Bogner to lead things off. As Lucas Burgum will step to the plate. Burgum in game number 1 reached base every time he came to the plate, but he only went 1 for 1. He was hit by a pitch, had 3 walks, and a 2 RBI double in the 3rd inning. He's looking to continue that streak to reach base for his 6th consecutive trip to the plate here in this doubleheader. First pitch is over for strike 1 from Justin Hulen, who threw 21 pitches in that 1st inning. Here's the 0-1 from the right-hander to the right-handed hitting Burgum. That one is a curveball that drops in. It's now 0-2.
Score updates from across South Dakota. In the 2nd game of the doubleheader, Brookings defeated Aberdeen 14-2.
There's a ground ball that will be fouled down the 3rd base line.
Brandon leads Sioux Falls East 7-2 in the top of the 5th inning. In the bottom of the 4th, Sturgis is now taking a 6-1 lead over Rapid City Post 320, and in the bottom of the 5th, Watertown leads Sioux Falls West 4-1.
Count is 0-2 here to Burgum. He's the leadoff hitter here in the bottom of the second inning. Here's the 0-2 from Hulett to Burgum. There's a ground ball to the right side, fielded by Mayer. The throw to first, and the leadoff man is retired. Here to open up the bottom of the second, and then bring up Easton Andreessen, who did not get a decision in that first game. And somehow, with all those runs that were scored, he went 6 1/3 in that last game. That's one of those anomaly games that, because Post State swung the bat so frequently, didn't have too many strikeouts, didn't walk anybody, he was able to throw that much as he was hit by the first pitch, and he is on base here with one down, as that'll bring up Avery Bogner with one down here in the bottom of the second.
It's almost similar to the Colin Brueggemann start against Mandan, where he threw 6 innings of one hit ball. The only hit being a 2-run home run that actually put the Eights behind until they were able to rally late in the game and win that on the walk-off grand slam.
There's a ground ball to third baseman Gaydon, fielded to second for one, back to first, and Rasky came off the bag. He was able to scoop it, but it came off the bag. And so there's now 2 down, and there is a fielder's choice to Bogner. And a good play there by Gaydon to throw it to Mayer and have a chance for a double play. As that'll bring up now Tate Jablonski, the right fielder, with 2 down here in the bottom of the second.
And I think, I can't tell you for sure. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but I think this is probably McGuire Rasky's first extended action at first base. I don't think he played over there last year at all, did he?
Yeah, I don't believe so. I think this is his first chance, and outside of maybe when they were all little and everybody played every position throughout the year.
Yeah, and I don't really remember him even playing, even though he's left-handed. I don't really remember him playing first base. He was typically an outfielder, most likely a center fielder, and so he's made several nice plays over at first base, and has done a nice job over there so far tonight. And so Coach White, I'm sure, is looking for some opportunities to strengthen the bench and add a little depth over there.
And the 2-0 pitch was in the turf and bounced right in front of Hinkle. The runner took off for second and Bogner, and he is thrown out by a couple of steps, and Mayer had an easy tag to finish out the inning. So after 2 innings, no runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base, is a 2-0 lead for the Ace as we head to the top of the third over Mandan. Listen to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Here in the top of the third inning, you are listening to KCCR Pierre Riverfront Broadcasting Station. Post State leads at 2-0. As it will be Cade Hinkle, A.J. Gaydon, and McGuire Rasky, 2, 3, and 4. First pitch is missed low and outside for ball 1. As Hinkle and Gaydon both reach base with 2 singles in that top of the first. They're the 2 runs that have scored so far for the Eights. Everyone off the end of the bats, and it will roll foul just past third base and fielded by Coach White. And the count is now 1-1. Hinkle and Gaydon both came in on the 2 RBI single from Bennett Dean with 2 outs in the top of the first. The 1-1 is grounded or hit foul back behind home plate, and the count is now 1-2. With some turkeys on the field.
Ooh, I did hear turkeys. Yeah.
Not really, for those that are actually watching, just the sound effects that happened to do. 1-2 is a swing and a miss. Although that would be fun to see. We'd have to probably delay the game a little bit to get him off the field, but as there's
there's been any number of different varmints in baseball fields all across the country. There are cats and rabbits and birds, and one bird never made it across the front of a Randy Johnson fastball about 15 years ago.
Got us 0-1 here to AJ Gayden. That will get to the backside. It was 1-1. You know, I've always that after I've lost his name. Kevin Harlan, after he had his great cat play-by-play of running across the field from Monday Night Football last year, count is now 1-2 to Gayden. I've wanted that to happen somewhere so I can start doing doing a play-by-play of something running across. The count is now 2-2 as that bounces and gets to the backstop. But I've yet to have that opportunity come about me here so far.
Well, we might be able to find one of the players' pets and bring it onto the field at some point.
We did have a dog in the dugout.
We did have a dog in the dugout. That's right.
In Humboldt, he didn't really do too much,
but he was ready.
That's right.
Air Bud was ready to go.
Count is 3-2 to AJ Gayden. Big off pitch. There's a line shot. That's into the gap, and that's down for a base hit. That will roll towards the wall, cut off by the left fielder in Johnson. The throw will come in, and AJ Gayden will slide in with a one-out double. His second hit of the ball game. He's 2 for 2.
Yeah, just a rope that AJ Gayden hit out into left center field, and he was hustling out of the box, and it's a good thing he did, because it was a nice throw coming in from Johnson out in left field to actually make that a fairly close play at second base.
Here's McGuire Rasky. He grounded out to the second baseman in his first at-bat, moved both runners into scoring position, and was able to then get that two RBI single for Bennett Dean, who is on deck right now. AJ Gayden is in scoring position again. He stands at second base. One down here at the top of the third. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Aarons to Rasky. Throw to second base. AJ Gayden will take off for third. The throw is in time, and he is thrown out to third base. Wasn't too far off of second to make that play happen, and didn't take off in time as well. But he is thrown out and caught stealing, and there's now 2 down.
Yeah, and again, Huddle is catching this game, and he is not afraid to show that arm off. Second time he's backpicked the runner, and second time that it's resulted in an out for post 8 tonight in this game, in the second game.
Count is 1-2, and you got that cat. Probably hit the cat out there. Count is 1-2 here with 2 down in the top of the third. 1-2 pitch. There's a fly ball out towards left field. Johnson will range to his right. He'll reach up and make the catch, and that will retire the side here in the top of the third inning. No runs, no hits, or no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and no one left on base. We have played 2.5. It is a 2-0 lead for Post State over Mandan. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Bottom of the third inning, it is a 2-0 lead, as it will be for Mandan, 8, 9, and 1. It'll be Tate Jablonski, Jake Wine, and Avery Johnson to lead things off. Jablonski, he was at the plate whenever Bogner was thrown out at second, so his second chance to see Hulett. First pitch misses low for ball 1.
Hulett right on pace, 30 pitches through 2 innings complete. He's right on pace. If you want to let him go all 105 for a complete game, you have to average 15 pitches an inning, and so he's right on pace through the first 2 innings.
Count is 1-1 here to Jablonski. Here's the 1-1 pitch. There's a check swing that'll be fouled to the first base coach's box, but that assistant coach for Mandan was over by the first base dugout, so he didn't have to even worry about making an attempt to get out of the way. And the count is now 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Hulett. There's a swing and a miss in the turf. Throw to first is in time, and the leadoff man is retired on the strikeout. Second strikeout of the ball game from Justin Hulett. And there's one down. I'll bring up the number 9 hitter, and Jake Wine, who picked up the win.
Jake Wine.
That was Gerhardt that picked up the win for Mandan in that first game.
Coming out of the bullpen with 1 inning in relief.
Here's the first pitch. There's a ground ball to the right side. That's through for a base hit. And the first hit of the ball game for the Mandan Chiefs here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And that'll bring up the top of the order back to Avery Johnson, who grounded out to the first baseman, Rasky. That's a ball that's one of those in-betweeners over at first base where Rasky had a closer chance to make that play, but you get to the point where you're not used to that position, so you're ready to go to first base every single time. Every time that ball gets hit, you're just breaking right to first base. And even then, I don't know if he still makes that play just because that was pretty far out there, as that one's going to be grounded to Rasky. He's going to throw to second for one, try to go back to first, and Johnson's going to beat it out, and it's a fielder's choice, and there's now 2 down.
That's probably a play just because Rasky was literally only a step off of first base. That's probably a play where you probably go over, tag first base, and then make the throw to second. And what you do is then in that case you would force Stout to apply the tag over at second base. In this case, they did get the fielder's choice and are able to keep Mandan to just a runner on first with 2 out.
And there's a line shot out to right field, and Carr will come in to make the catch, and that will retire the side here in the bottom of the 3rd. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We have played 3 full here in Mandan in game number 2. Post State has a 2-0 lead over the Chiefs. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com.
Who's the second one?
As we welcome you back here to Mandan, it is a 2-0 lead as we head to the top of the 4th inning. And here's the trivia here, the 40-40 club of 2 guys from the American League. Alex Rodriguez is one, and now the other one is
Jose Canseco?
Jose Canseco is not a bad one. I don't know if Ricky Henderson did either.
We have a winner.
I don't think he would have had 40 home runs.
Jose Canseco. There you go.
Leading off for the
Greg Dean would have won. Nobody came up here. Maybe you're the one that's going to get it by
Bennett Dean.
over here's Bennett Dean to lead things off. First pitch is taken for strike 1. Dean is 1 for 1 with a 2 RBI single back in the first inning. That's the only runs we've seen so far as we play here to the top of the 4th. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one will bounce in. Now 1-1.
Yeah, Dean, as you said, comes in hitting .235 on the year. Now adds a couple of RBIs. Now has 8 RBIs in his 10th game of the year.
2-1 here to Dean as the 2-1 pitch from Aaron's popped up and over the press box, and it's
There's a
now
foul ball
2-2.
opportunity sponsored by Dana Schlomer Construction.
It's a really
Look out for
nice
the cat.
facility here in Mandan. They've just renovated just not too long ago, and nice press box, nice grandstand. 2-2 is lined to the shortstop, right to Burgum. Doesn't even have to move, and there's the first out here in the top of the fourth inning. All turf field all the way around, not just the infield, all the way in the outfield, all the way to
Second
the warning
baseman.
track, and it's
Jake Mayer.
it's a top-notch, first-class facility here in Mandan, and if there's one place to spend probably an extra long time at a ballpark, this would be the one if we're not at Hyde Stadium.
Absolutely, and we'll be interested to see the renovation efforts out at Fitzgerald Stadium out in Rapid City at Post 22's home field. Construction started there on Monday on their $5 million renovation efforts.
The count is 0-2 here to Mayer. He actually fouled that back at the top of the grandstand and landed in right in front of some fans. The 0-2 pitch. Mayer will line it back up the middle. He is now got his first hit of the ball game as he is 1 for 2 with a base hit here with one down the top of the fourth.
Yeah, just a rope straight up the middle and into center field, and so the Eights have something going here with one out in the top of the fourth.
Already their 7th hit of the ball game. As here's Kobe Carr, who is 1 for 1. He was thrown out. He was back picked over at first base. Here's the first pitch to Carr. That one's outside for ball 1.
One hit for the Mandan Chiefs came the last inning. It was reminiscent when we were talking about the fact that we didn't really talk about the fact that it broke up the no-hitter, but Justin Hulett did have a no-hitter going through 2+ innings. Reminds me of one of my favorite Charlie Brown cartoons where he's coming off the mound and he looks at Linus and he goes, "Well, I had a no-hitter going for a third of an inning."
Here's the 1-1 pitch. It was fouled back. It's 1-2. I don't think I could ever do it, but that was one thing that I always thought would be my catchphrase. Every time that first hit was recorded, whether it was in the first inning or the 7th inning, and there goes the no-hitter.
There goes the no-hitter.
But I have not done that before outside of there was one game that I was calling that had a chance for a perfect game through 6 innings. There's a line shot caught by the second baseman, a throw back to first, and Mayer was able to get back in time. And there's now 2 down here in the top of the fourth, and they'll bring up Will Van Camp.
Nice job by Mayer on that play because when that ball left the bat from up here, it looked like it was probably going to go through the right side, but Mayer had a good read on the ball, and even though he'd gotten a pretty aggressive secondary lead, pretty much right away, as soon as he saw where that ball was headed, he could see it was going to be caught and immediately retreated to first base. And if he had not retreated immediately, he would probably have gotten doubled off on that play.
Here is Will Van Camp, who struck out looking in his first at bat. They will pop the first one up. It's going to get out of play as Mayer was off with the pitch.
That's a foul ball opportunity.
And it's 0-1.
And this game is moving along much quicker than game number 1
Don't
did.
say that. Don't say that.
Sorry. If I jinxed it, you can take it out of my hide in the 7th inning somewhere around midnight then.
Count is 0-1 here to Will Van Camp. I'm going to just ignore that you ever said anything here in the last 10 seconds. Mayer is on at first base as Blake Ayers will come set from the stretch. Here is the 0-1 pitch upstairs. Back pick to first, sliding feet first back into first base is Mayer. And it's now 1-1. Don't see that very often. We see his feet first slide back into a base. But Mayer is able to get back in time. And now here's the 1-1 instead. Check over. That's going to get over away from the first baseman. Mayer can take second, and he can round second and head to third. He will get to third base. The throw will come all the way across on one hop to the shortstop. And the error charge to the pitcher. And Aaron's will now have Mayer 90 feet away from making it a 3-0 ball game. But it will take a base hit to get Mayer in.
Yeah, and just a ball that scooted past Wyan at first base, and he actually went to his knees to try to get that ball. And when he did, the ball got past him, and he was not able to get up in time. So the ball actually was fielded by Jablonski out in right field, and with that, Mayer ends up going to third on the play.
2-1 pitch, and Van Camp will shoot out to the left center field gap. Diving, can't make the catch. Van Camp himself an RBI double. And it's now 3-0 here for Post States. And Van Camp with a nice shot out there in the left center field and a great play, almost a great play by Avery Johnson.
Second double on the year for Will Van Camp, 6th RBI.
And so now he has picked up his second RBI against Mandan, and it's a 3-0 lead here for the Eights. As here is Elliott Life, who is 1 for 1 so far. First pitch swinging, pops it up into shallow center left field, and the shortstop will go back and make the catch to retire the side here in the top of the 4th inning. But 1 run scores on 2 hits on the RBI double for Will Van Camp, 1 error in the inning, and 1 man left on base. After 3.5, Post State has a 3-0 lead over Mandan. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Here we are in the bottom of the 4th inning. It is 3, 4, and 5 here for the Eights. As it'll be Isaac Huddle, Cole Schmidt, and Lucas Burgum to lead things off. Justin Hulett, 3 shutout innings so far on just 37 pitches. Here's the first pitch to Huddle. He'll line that into center field at Elliott Life, and it's going to get over his head. It's going to roll all the way to the wall. Life's going to go pick it up. Huddle's going to round second. He's going to get towards third base. The throw comes in from center field, and it's going to be a stand-up triple for Isaac Huddle to lead things off in the bottom of the 3rd, or bottom of the 4th.
Just a sharply hit line drive, and when it left the bat, it looked like Life had that one measured, and I think the ball just had a little bit extra carry that Life was not anticipating, and again the wind is kind of blowing out towards left field, and maybe it got a little extra help from the wind and just skipped over the top of Life's glove, and now Mandan has a threat going here in the bottom of the 4th against Justin Hulett.
First pitch misses upstairs for ball 1. Here is the 1-0 pitch to Cole Schmidt. That one will also miss, and now 2-0. Schmidt flew out to the center fielder Life on that sliding catch, a diving catch from Life to end the bottom of the 1st inning. Here's a 2-0 from Hulett to Schmidt. There's a line shot towards center field again. Life will come in. He dives and can't make the catch. It's now a 3-1 ball game, as it's going to be a double for Cole Schmidt, and he brings in the first run for Mandan here in game number 2.
Elliott Life getting a lot of work out in center field here in the bottom of the 4th, and it almost came up with a spectacular play out in left center field, and just made a dive at the very end, and the ball actually was in his glove until he hit the ground, and then just popped out, unfortunately for the Eights. And so because of that, Mandan's got their first run of the game and still has something going with a runner on second and nobody out.
First pitch to Lucas Burgum's over for strike 1. How about a game of inches? If Life is back a couple of inches on that first one, or playing over just a little bit towards his right, a couple more inches, he probably makes both those catches, and it's 2 outs with nobody on base instead of 3-1 with nobody out, and it's now a runner on third, as that one will skip away from Hinkle. And the count is now 1-1 with the runner on third with nobody out.
And we've got activity in the Post State bullpen. I can't see who is down there. Looks like we got a couple of arms going down in the pen right now, John.
So look at maybe who it might be. Lincoln Keenels could be thrown over there. River Iverson potentially could be thrown. 1-1 is popped up on the infield. McGuire Rasky over at first base will call for it. He'll make the catch, and there's one down.
Rasky going, this is just like playing the outfield.
I'll tell you what, sometimes, though, those fly balls that are popped up on the infield are somewhat a little bit tougher if you get that wind going a little bit than it is in the outfield, because at least you get a chance to kind of see that ball a a little bit more come towards you than you do in the infield. But here's Easton Andreessen. Or maybe it's just a little bit easier for people that are better. The first pitch is over for strike one.
It's awful easy sitting up here.
Oh yeah, everything's is an easy catch from up here.
Yeah. I'm 1,000%. See, I'm 1,000% fielder sitting up here.
Here's the 0-1 pitch to Andreessen, and the 0-1 misses now 1-1. But the jokes are not at 1,000%.
Yeah, they never will be.
If you ask the rest of the Dean household, your jokes are probably about 0%.
And that might be the high water mark.
There's a suicide squeeze, drop down. Hulett will throw on his back foot across, is not in time. The suicide squeeze works out to perfection, and Andreessen is on a first base on the RBI infield single. And it's now a 3-2 ball game. As that'll bring up Avery Bogner, who grounded to a fielder's choice in his first at bat. So it's now 3-2 here in the bottom of the fourth. One down, runner on first base. And a great play, great bunt there from Andreessen. First pitch is over for strike one. And the suicide squeeze was on. If Andreessen did not make contact, it would have been an easy play for Hinkle to make, to tag out that runner coming in Schmidt. But instead, bunt was dropped down, and there's a catch by Stout on his back foot, and he'll make the leap and make the catch. And there's now two away.
A really athletic play over shortstop by Garrett Stout, as that ball kind of just had a little bit of a flare to it, and I thought when it left the bat that it might get over his head, but Stout was able to jump at the last second and extend and pull down kind of that soft fly ball, and with that, if he doesn't make that play, then Mandan really has something going. But thankfully, Stout was able to corral the ball for the second out.
First pitch to Jablonski. He's missed outside for ball one. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. That came back in the lead off the bottom of the third inning. That one will hit Jablonski, and it's now first and second with two down. And the tying run is in scoring position for Jake Wyan, who got a base hit in his first at bat. If he gets another base hit, he could tie the ball game up. And Post State had a 3-0 lead. It looks like right now Mandan is trying to do what Post State did to them and have a quick comeback. Another game of runs. Here's the first pitch to Wyan upstairs for ball one.
For Justin Hulett so far tonight, he has thrown 52 pitches through 3 2/3 innings. He has given up 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 1 walk, along with 2 strikeouts so far.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. Hulett stepped off to throw around, but Stout was retreating back to second or to shortstop position. So Hulett wisely held on to the ball so he wouldn't throw it into center field. 1-0 pitch. That one will be fouled off the handle of the number 9 hitter in Jake Wyan. Is now 1-1.
Yeah, just a check swing, one of those what are typically termed as excuse me swings, and Jablonski did not want to swing at that pitch, and luckily for Post State was able to get a foul ball off of it.
That was skied out to right field into foul territory. Carr will come in, he'll make the catch, and that will retire the side, and Post State will get out of danger here. 2 runs do score in the inning on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. After 4 complete, it is a 3-2 Post State lead over Mandan. You're listening to Post State Baseball. Today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. Gary Stout will lead things off as we play here into the top of the 5th inning in a 3-2 post-state lead. Be Stout, Hinkle, and A.J. Gaden, first 3 hitters for the Eights. Blake Ahrens will throw into his 5th inning, 59 pitches through 4 complete. Here's the first pitch, and that is outside to Stout, who is 0 for 2 so far. Ground out to the shortstop and popped out to the shortstop.
Yep, Aaron right on pace for complete game as well. That was his 61st pitch in the top of the 5th inning. If he stays on this pace, he will complete 105 pitches before the 7th inning is over.
1-1 is grounded to the second baseman. Kuntz, the throw to first, is in time, and the leadoff man is retired here in the top of the 5th inning. And that'll bring up Cade Hinkle.
Cade Hinkle.
Hinkle's 1 for 2. Singled in the first, struck out in the third. As this ball game here, as we get to the top of the 5th, is only 57 minutes old. First pitch is a swing and a miss, and it's 0-1.
You chastised me for talking about how short this game is.
No, I didn't say anything other than just how long this game has been so far. I didn't say anything else. It just stated the fact. 0-1 is upstairs, and it's 1-1.
Wasn't that what I was doing?
No, you were you had an opinion, because some people might think that it might have been going longer than what you had said. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And that's a swing and a miss, and it's now 1-2.
So if it starts going long, I'll just say it's the longest game ever. I'll just talk it that way. See if I can't turn it a 180 on that dime.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's floated into center field for a base hit. And Hinkle is now 2 for 3 here in the ball game, as it'll bring up A.J. Gaden, who is 2 for 2 so far with a single and a double.
Yeah, just a kind of a Texas leaguer out in the left center field for Cade Hinkle, and he's able to be the first base runner of the 5th inning for the Eights. Let's see if they can string a couple hits together and put a little cushion back in this game.
A.J. Gaden now 3 for 3 as he lines that in the left field. He's got 2 singles and a double. And he is hitting the ball well here to open up this ball game, and especially as you get down the stretch to the postseason, putting himself into a spot where you can't take him out of the lineup. Here's McGuire Rasky, who's 0 for 2.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that if you look up and down the post-state lineup, there's a lot of offensive depth on this team.
There's a ground ball to the left side. That's going to get off the glove of the shortstop. Coming in to score will be Hinkle. Gaden will stop at second base, his first and second, as we'll wait to see what that scoring is over for that ball to left field or to the shortstop, and it's now a 4-2 lead here for Post-State.
Yeah, if you look at this Post-State lineup offensively, you could probably plug and play about 12 or 13 hitters and really not lose very much from 1 through 13.
Dean will foul the first pitch away. They're going to rule it a hit and an RBI for McGuire Rasky. He is now 1 for 3. Dean is 1 for 2 with a 2 RBI single back in the first inning. That gave Post-State a 2-0 lead. They now lead at 4-2. 0-1 pitch with 1 out. That's upstairs, and it's now 1-1.
And what it does for Coach White is it really gives him a lot of flexibility, that especially if you get to this point in the season and everybody's probably wearing a few dings and a few bruises, and hopefully those don't turn into anything else. But if they do,
as the pitch get into the turf, the throw to third is going to go off either A.J. Gaden or the glove of the third baseman. So it's now second and third, and a base hit from Dean can give himself a 3rd and 4th RBI of the ball game.
Yeah, and so if just to finish the thought, if you've got some guys who maybe are a little beat up and you need to give them a day off, hopefully in the postseason you probably aren't looking to do that. But if that injury gets too severe and they need to take a rest, you've got guys who can step in and it's next man up kind of deal.
Count is 2-2 here to Dean. Here's the 2-2 from Ahrens. There's a hard shot to first baseman past his glove, and Bennett Dean will have himself his 3rd RBI. The throw is going to come towards the plate. McGuire Rasky will score. The throw to second, go off the glove of the shortstop, and Dean's over at second base. He is now 2 for 3 with 4 runs driven in the ball game, and Dean will take second. And with their 1 out, he is in scoring position.
Yeah, just a hard ground ball that just skipped over the top of the first baseman and right into first baseman Wyan, and Jablonski came up throwing, and actually it was a pretty close play at the plate where Rasky actually came in to score, and then Dean hops down to second on the throw. So the Eights have given themselves 3 runs here in the 5th and are looking to add to it with Mayer at the plate and Dean in scoring position at second base.
Jake Mayer takes strike 1. He is 1 for 2. Singled he singled and got to third on the air, but was stranded over at third base. It is now a 1-1 count to the second baseman Mayer. Dean is on at second base. Base hit would open up the lead to a 5-run cushion for Post State. Scored 3 runs here in the top of the 5th inning. Their largest lead now is up to 4. That one is fouled out of play. And it's 1-2.
Opportunity sponsored by Dana Slomer Construction.
And a little bit of a glimpse into potentially what some of next year's lineup may look like for Post State with Rasky and Dean, Jake Mayer, Elliott Life, and potentially Cade Hinkle coming back as a super senior if he makes that decision to play next year.
1-2 pitch is grounded. The throw to first is just in time as a third baseman Bogner double clutched to make sure Dean didn't get to third base. Dean got to third base anyway, and Mayer was thrown out by half a step, and there's now 2 down.
Colby Carr.
Yeah, I thought when the third baseman double clutched, when Bogner double clutched on that throw, I thought maybe that was going to give Mayer an opportunity to possibly get an infield hit out of the deal, and I actually thought maybe he was safe from up here, but the umpire has a 100% record. If you look in the scorebook, he's all right.
First pitch misses for ball 1. You're not wrong about that. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And that was upstairs now 2-0. Although sometimes you have to put it down that somebody's protesting, and so every once in a while you win a protest. So the umpire's percentage goes down a little bit.
Yeah, you win a protest every time the comet comes around every 6,800 years.
I was going to say, so the umpire's percentage goes from 100 to 99.9 because it's not going to happen very often. Here's the 3-0 pitch. That one will miss low, and it's a 4-pitch walk. And that will bring up Will Van Camp, the 8th hitter to come to the plate. He got an RBI double in his last trip to the plate. He's 1 for 2. 4-run lead here in the top of the 5th inning, 6-2. 13 hits in the ballgame for Post State. Well, they've struck a lot of hits together. 29 hits so far between these 2 games. Here's the first pitch to Van Camp. Runners off to second. Throw will be wide of second. That's going to go off the glove of the second baseman. And Dean's going to come in and score anyway. And it's now 7-2.
Yeah, the throw goes all the way through from Huddle down to Kuntz at second base, and with that, Dean comes down the line and scores easily on the double steal.
There's the 0-1 pitch to Van Camp. There's a ground ball back up the middle, fielded on the backhand by the second baseman Kuntz. The throw to first is in time to retire the side. 8 men come to the plate. 4-run score for the Eights on 4 hits in the inning. There were no errors and 1 man left on base. We head to the bottom of the 5th. 7-2. Post State has a 5-run lead. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Here's Anthony Johnson to lead things off in the bottom of the 5th inning. 7-2 is our score here as we play into the bottom of the 5th. And Justin Hulett, who has thrown 54 pitches through 4 innings, will throw the first pitch outside for ball 1. It'll be Johnson, Kuntz, and Huddle, top 3 hitters in the order. They scored their first 2 runs in the bottom of the 4th inning. Did Mandan, but they trailed by 5 after giving them a 4 spot in the top of the 5th. 1-1's the count to Johnson. He is 0 for 2 so far. Ground out to the first baseman in the 1st inning and ground into a fielder's choice. Was stranded at first base back in the 3rd. Here's the 1-1. There's a fly ball out to right field coming in on his car. That's going to drop in front of him, then hop over him, taking a high hop. And Johnson's going to take second base. He's going to round second, head for 3rd. The throw is going to come in, and they're going to hold Johnson up at 3rd base. The third base coach actually wasn't even over there for Mandan, and Johnson knew just to hold up. But he gets a leadoff triple.
Yeah, Johnson as he watches the third base coach kind of jog up the line. Johnson puts his hands out, kind of like, "Where were you?" I mean, I could have had an inside the park home run if you could have been over here, but he made the decision to play it safe and walk into third base with a stand up triple.
If that would have been farther over to the right field, he probably would have been able to get inside the park home run. But Elliott Life was able to get over to it more towards right center field. To make sure that it wasn't a inside the park home run to lead off the bottom of the 5th inning.
Yeah, and luckily for Life, he was backing up the play, and again, a turf hit for Johnson. Carr came in expecting the ball to kind of skid as you would expect on a natural grass surface, and it took one hop and went right over top of him.
Count is 1-1 to Stenson Kuntz, who is 0 for 2. Struck out looking and also flew out to right field. Here's the 1-1 from Hulett to Kuntz. There's a sharp ground ball. Diving play by Stout. Knocks it down. Gets up. The throw to first is not in time. And it's an RBI infield single for Johnson. And it's a 7-3 lead now for Post State.
Yeah, and a really athletic play by Stout. I mean, he went about half a dozen steps to his left, had to dive, gloved the ball, actually popped out of his glove for a fraction of a second, came up firing and actually almost got Kuntz. Kuntz was only saved by about a step at first base.
Here's Justin Hulett pitch to Isaac Huddle, and that will be fouled away on the left side. And it's 0-1. On first is Stenson Kuntz, who is now 1 for 3 with an RBI single. 6 hits in the ball game so far for Mandan. They trail by 4 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 62nd pitch coming from Hulett to Huddle. Upstairs is now 1-1. 7 runs, 12 hits, no errors so far for Post State. 3 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for Mandan. Large lead over at first base. The 1-1. That one is bounced, and it's now 2-1. Kuntz thought about it, but he's seen the arm of Hinkle and decided against it.
Couple of quick score updates while we're looking for them. Watertown has swept Sioux Falls West tonight. They won the second game 8-2 in the bottom of the 7th at Harmondon Park. Brandon Valley leads Sioux Falls East 11-2. So if those games end like it looks like they are, those are a couple of games that are not going to go Post State's way.
As the 3-1 is grounded right to the first baseman in Rasky, but the runner was off and Kuntz to second, so he's going to get to second base. And it is 1 down here in the bottom of the 5th. And that'll bring up Cole Schmidt. If that was a ground ball without that runner taking off for second, Rasky could have stepped to the bag for the first out and had a potential of a double play. First pitch to Schmidt is outside for ball 1.
And another final in Sturgis has defeated Rapid City Post 320 8-3. So like I said, coming into tonight, if you're a Post State fan, you were rooting for both Sioux Falls teams. Unfortunately, both those teams were swept tonight. And the only small silver lining is that Aberdeen did pull out one victory out of the doubleheader against Brookings. That does give Post State a little bit of help in the postseason standings, but not really what you were looking for. Really needed some help from the Sioux Falls teams tonight.
Schmidt grounds the ball back up the middle for a base hit. Holding at third was Kuntz, so it's now first and third with 1 down. And here is Lucas Burgum. He could pull within 3, or if he shoots the gap somewhere, he could pull within 2. First pitch to Burgum is inside for ball 1. We play here at 9:45 Central Time, local time here as well. It is a 7-3 lead. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one's grounded just past the third base bag on the foul side, and it's now 1-1. That one would have been at least a 7-4 ball game, and depending on how that ball would have caromed around out in left field for Will Van Camp to play, could have scored a second run. That was sharply hit, and with that turf, that ball doesn't really slow up too much until it gets to the fence. Here's the 1-1. Runner is off to second. Throw will come to second. Mayer will get the tag down, and he is out at second base, and the runner doesn't score, and there's now 2 down.
Yeah, and it's odd that the runner on third did not try to advance to home when the throw went all the way through to second base. Kuntz was set up and certainly had every opportunity to score once Hinkle committed and made the throw to second base.
1-2 is looked out for a strike 3, and that will end the inning. Here in the bottom of the 5th, 1 run does score on 3 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We have played now 5 full innings, and Post State leads 7-3 over Mandan. You're listening to Post State Baseball. Today it's KCCR, and today it's KCCR.com. As we welcome back, top of the 6th inning, it'll be 9-1-2. Elliott Life, Garrett Stout, and Cade Hinkle to lead things off as they lead 7-3 over Mandan, looking for a split of the last road regular season doubleheader. As Post State right now would be home, as it was going into today, they would be home for that regional round. They would be home for the super regional round, and then it would be most likely on the road unless they were the top highest seed remaining, which would be hard for that to actually happen, especially if they're the 4 seed, to have the other top 3 lose in the super regions. But after the win from runner, as the LA Life will sky the first pitch out to center field, and 1 pitch and 1 out as the catch is made by Andreessen out in center. And it'll bring up Garrett Stout. With the win from runner tonight, could have leapfrogged into 4th place over Post State, which then the 8s would have to go on the road to runner if both those teams would win their 2 series. That was a slow roller on the first base line. Picked up, flipped to first base, and drawing the man off at first is the pitcher in Aarons, and Garrett Stout is on base. I believe they're going to call that a hit as well. Would have been a tough play to make even if he had a strong flip over to first. So Stout is on for the first time.
Yeah, and it just almost a swinging bunt. The ball just it was a full swing from Stout, and the ball he got a piece of it and just went rolling right down the first base line. And so when Aarons came over to field the ball, he really didn't have any opportunity. His only play was to try to underhand the ball to Wyan at first base, and when he flipped it too high, and Wyan came off the bag.
1 pitch is outside, now 1-1. Stout is over at first base. 1 down here in the top of the 6th inning. So far, 13 hits for Post State. Aarons will come set from the stretch. Here is the 1-1 to Hinkle. And Stout was off with the pitch, and it's now 1-2.
And give a lot of credit to the Mandan pitchers tonight. What they've done well, and that's they haven't walked people. They've only had one walk in 2 games. Did not allow a walk in game number 1, and have only allowed 1 walk in game number 2. So credit the Mandan pitching staff for keeping those free passes off base tonight and making Post 8 earn their way on.
Count is 2-2 here to Cade Hinkle is 2 for 3 with 2 singles so far. He struck out his time he's been retired. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Hinkle out towards center field. Going back is Andreessen. He'll make the catch, and there's now 2 down. And retreating back to first is Stout. And then I'll bring up A.J. Gayden, who's looking to go now 4 for 4 in the ball game if he can get a base hit. He's hit the ball hard all 3 times. A single, double, and single in the first, third, and fifth inning.
And with that infield hit for Garrett Stout, every batter in the Post 8 lineup now has a base hit tonight.
So here is A.J. Gayden. First pitch is upstairs. Stout will go off for second. The throw is actually getting out of the glove of the second baseman. And Stout will steal second base. I don't know if Stout kicked it out when the tag was applied or if the second baseman, when he put down the tag, ended up losing it in Kuntz. Either way, it's ball 1 to Gayden and a steal for Stout at second. And he's in scoring position. Gayden, who's 3 for 3, has not driven in a run yet. But he has his opportunity here with, I believe that's Justin Houlette's on deck. Or Colin Brueggemann's on deck.
I was going to say, I think that's Colin Brueggemann.
So now the count is 2-0 here to A.J. Gayden. So Brueggemann will hit for McGuire Rasky. I think they'll probably move quite a bit of people around. Maybe Brueggemann will play first base. He'll might go the outfield. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Gayden will ground it to the third baseman. It'll be fielded. The long throw to first is in time, and that will retire Gayden for the first time here in the evening. And we'll end the inning here in the top of the 6th. No runs scored in the inning, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 5.5, it is a 7-3 lead for the 8s over Mandan. You're listening to Post 8 Baseball. Today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning, it is going to be 6, 7, and 8. Easton Andreessen, Avery Bogner, and Tate Jablonski. Here's the first pitch.
Center fielder Easton Andreessen.
Andreessen is upstairs for ball 1. He'll let 72 pitches now in the ball game. As we play here in the bottom of the 6th, here's the 1-0 pitch. There's a fly ball out to left field. Van Camp's going to go back on it, still going back all the way towards the wall. And that one will drop in for a leadoff double. Van Camp just couldn't quite get to it. It went off the wall, didn't skip too far away from the wall. But it's a leadoff double, his second hit of the ball game. And Mandan is in business here to open up the bottom of the 6th inning. As it's now Avery Bogner, who's 0 for 2.
Houlette into his sixth inning of work tonight. 5 innings pitched so far, 8 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts for the senior from Pierre TF Riggs High School.
First pitch is upstairs for ball 1 to Avery Bogner, followed by Tate Jablonski and then Jake Wyan. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Houlette. Popped up. This on the left side again towards left field. Will Van Camp will make the catch. Runner starts to tag, but will retreat back to second, and there's now one down. That's going to bring in Jablonski,
Right fielder for your
who is
Chiefs,
0 for 1 so far. He's hit by a pitch in his last trip to the plate.
Big thanks to Rick Gordon for running Game Changer tonight and substituting for master statistician Kelly Stout, who usually handles those duties for Post 8.
As the first pitch from Hulett to Jablonski
Master statistician?
will be over for strike one.
I'm sure he's listening tonight somewhere.
Well, I'm sure he is. He's probably watching on the YouTube feed. He's got my number. He can send me a text if he's sitting there watching or listening. The 0-1, that will miss inside, and it's now 1-1.
I assume Jamie Rasky's probably doing the same.
Having a nice cold lemonade.
Having a nice cold lemonade.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. That will bounce. Hinkle and makes a nice stop, and it's now 2-1. One down here in the bottom of the sixth inning.
You haven't gotten any Ryan Kruger texts this doubleheader. What's he's falling asleep?
Hey, yeah, I don't know. He probably, yeah.
We haven't disparaged the Cubs tonight.
We put him to bed pretty early. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, and it's now 2-2.
Yeah, we haven't disparaged the Cubs, so that hasn't caused Dirk and Ryan to light your phone up along with Sean Lewis.
And Peyton Zabel is actually scheduled to pitch over at the Trappers tonight, so
okay.
I think a lot of them might be over there watching the Trappers, watching Peyton chance to throw. Now count is now 3-2 here with one down in the bottom of the sixth inning.
Maybe do a quick check, see if we can check in and see how maybe Peyton did tonight.
Kelly Stout says, y'all are killing me. 3-2 is a swing and a miss. That one won't kill Kelly Stout. There's a second strikeout of the ball game of Jablonski, and there's now two down here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Here's Jake Wine. Wine's 1 for 2. He singled the left to right field. That was perfect. I love that Kelly sent us a text message. First pitch is just above the letters for ball 1. To Wine, the number 9 hitter in the order. Anthony Johnson is on deck. He tripled and scored in his last at-bat. Here's the 1-0 pitch. There's a fly ball out to right field. Kobe Carr will come in. He'll make the catch. No, he did not make the catch. Unable to make it, and the run will come in to score. And it's now 7-4. There's the first error of the ball game. With two down here in the bottom of the sixth inning. And that'll bring up Anthony Johnson, who tripled in his last plate appearance. And Rob Coverdale is.
Leadoff hitter for your Chiefs.
I don't think I don't know if he's really happy with you calling Kelly Stout the master
statistician.
Yeah.
Oh. Sorry, Rob.
First pitch for ball 1. You are listening to KCCR Pierre Riverfront Broadcasting Station as we get to the 10 o'clock hour. The first 1-0 pitch is upstairs now 2-0. Stetson Kuntz is on deck. We appreciate all you listening here as we get to the 10 o'clock hour on this Wednesday evening. 2-0 pitch is fouled back, and it's now 2-1. 16-15 was the final score in game number 1, as in Fish in the bottom of the 8th inning. That Post 8 lost to the Mandan Chiefs. That game time was 2 hours and 41 minutes of those 8 innings.
Update from Hyde Stadium: the Trappers are losing to the Western Nebraska Pioneers 6-5 in the bottom of the 8th.
The count is now 2-2 to Anthony Johnson. He is 1 for 3. Man leads away from first and Wine. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Curveball misses upstairs. The runner was off the throw. Stout he was able to glove it, knock it down, which saves Wine from being able to go to third base. But the count is now full at 3-2.
Let's see if we can. Okay, we do. Peyton Zabel did pitch tonight for the Trappers. He went 1 2/3 innings, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, 3 walks and 3 strikeouts for for Peyton Zabel tonight for the Pierre Trappers. And like we said, the Trappers are down 6-5 going to the top of the ninth.
Stetson Kuntz.
The 3-2 was missed upstairs, so it's a ball 4 and it's first and second. Here's the first pitch is over for strike 1. As
for Hulett, he's at his 90th pitch of the night. I'm still not seeing any real activity down in the Pierre bullpen. So we'll see how this plays out. If Hulett can get out of this inning with and get Kuntz out and retire him here, he's got a chance to possibly complete the game coming back out for the 7th inning.
Count is 0-2 here to Stetson Kuntz. The 0-2 pitch. There's a ground ball to the left side. Sliding for it is Gaten. He's able to make the play from his knees. A throw to second is in time, and that will retire the side here in the bottom of the 6th. Great play from A.J. Gaten to stay with it and to finish out the inning. 1 run scores on 1 hit in the inning, 1 error, and 2 men left on base. 6 complete. Post 8 has a 7-4 lead over Mandan. You're listening to Post 8 Baseball on today's KSUCR and today's KSUCR.com. Colin Bruggeman will lead things off here in the top of the 7th. It'll be Bruggeman, Dean, and then Jake Mayer, if he will come up to the plate as well. 7-4 is the score here as we head to the top of the 7th inning. 13 hits for Post 8, 1 error each. It was 7-13-1 and 4-9-1 for Mandan as we play here in the top of the 7th. Also, I'm going to give a shout out here to Granny Sally in Texas. Kelly said that we've got her cracking up too. I guess maybe she's laughing at the thought of Kelly being a master statistician.
Well, I tell you what, if Granny Sally appreciates our humor, chalk one up for her.
I was going to say chalk one up for us for a win here. First pitch is upstairs for ball 1 to Colin Bruggeman.
Bruggeman in for his 10th game of the year, 3 hits and 14 trips to the plate for the rising senior. He's got a double, 2 RBIs, 3 runs scored, and 3 walks to go with his .214 average.
2 of his 3 hits here in the season that came against Mandan. He went 2 for 5 against the Chiefs with an RBI. The 1-1 comes inside, almost hits Bruggeman, but it's now 2-1.
For Aarons, that's pitch number 96 on the night. So he has an opportunity, if he has a quick inning, to finish this game. If not, there is some activity down in the Mandan bullpen in case he's not able to get through this inning in another 8 pitches.
2-2 pitch. There's a ground ball to the left side, fielded by Burgum. Well, the shortstop, the throw to first is in time. The leadoff man is retired here to open up the top of the 7th, and that'll bring in Bennett Dean, who is 2 for 3 with 4 runs driven in. He's tied Mandan by himself with just 2 hits in the ball game. The only way he can get another RBI here is putting one over the right field fence. I guess he could go the other way, try and go the hard way, go over the left field 17-high-foot fence.
If you can go the other way and hit one over the chain link monster out and left, that would be an achievement.
Count is now 2-0 to Bennett Dean. Does have a home run on the season, hit against Aberdeen. He picked up 4 RBIs here in this ball game. The 2-0 is over, now 2-1. That's the 101st pitch. So just about done for here is Aarons. The 102nd pitch has popped up out of play on the left side. He was trying for it.
He's trying. He was aiming.
Count is 2-2. One more doubleheader here this season. This regular season will be on a Friday. As the 2-2, that one is the other way again and fouled down the third baseline. Again, be against Spearfish at home. 5 o'clock for first pitch of that doubleheader. It'll be on the air at 4:45. The 2-2. That one will be a curveball in the dirt. Good take, or turf. Good take by Dean. It's now 3-2, and this will be Aaron's final batter, as it's going to be his 105th pitch coming to the plate. 3-2 pitch. That is over for strike 3, and Dean goes down on strikes. He's now 2 for 4. And that will bring out the Mandan manager and also the man in the bullpen for the Chiefs, as we will step aside for a minute and tell you who the new pitcher is. You're listening to Post State Baseball, and today it's KCCR, and today is KCCR.com. So here is the changes as Drew Gerhardt will come back to the mound and throw again. Then Aaron's will go out towards center field, or at least to right field, be in the outfield. Tate Jablonski is going to come out of the ball game.
Number 16, Drew Gerhardt.
And he will face Jake Mayer, Will Gerhardt, as Jablonski will be done for the ball game. The DH is Cole Schmidt. He is also done, as Aaron's is out in center field and in his spot in the batting order, which is due up second in the bottom of the 7th inning. And also coming into the ball game again is Gerhardt, so he will take the place of Jablonski in the order. So he would hit then in the number 8 spot, which would be due up 6 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Gerhardt, he got the win in game number 1, did Drew Gerhardt. So he's on the mound trying to at least keep it a 7-4 deficit right now, as they'll deal with Jake Mayer with nobody on base and 2 outs after Aaron's went the 105 pitch max. Actually threw at 105 pitches, as he was able to strike out Dean on the 105th pitch. And we'll see here in the bottom of the 7th if Justin Hulette will at least get the chance to try and close it out with just 105 pitches.
Yeah, and actually Hulette sitting right at 90 pitches through 6 complete. So he's got 15 pitches to work with, has a prime opportunity to potentially close this game out in the 7th.
Jake Mayer is 1 for 3. First pitch swinging, pops it up on the right side. It'll be the second baseman. They lost in the lights. It's actually going to drop in for a base hit. They both went back and had to come in and end up dropping in front of him. So Jake Mayer in the scorebook looks like he hit that one 100 miles off the bat. We'll get a base hit on the infield. And I'll bring up Kobe Carr here with 2 down in the top of the 7th. Yeah, one that going to tomorrow, he can tell all the guys, hey, remember that base hit I got? Line drive right up the middle. Couldn't hit any harder. And nobody's going to be able to prove it. Well, I guess he can prove them wrong here if you go to the YouTube channel and rewatch the game. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Runner at first. Here's Carr, who is 1 for 2. Gerhardt is looking for just 1 out here in this top of the 7th. To put his team to the plate in the bottom of the 7th. First pitch is upstairs for ball 1. 7 runs, 14 hits, 1 error for Post State. 4 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for Mandan. Gerhardt will come set from the stretch. Here is the 1-0 pitch. That one will be towards the turf, and a good stop behind the plate by Huddle.
And you hope this doesn't happen, but potentially, if Mandan were to come from behind and win this game in the bottom of the 7th, Gerhardt has the potential to win both games of this doubleheader.
Here's the 2-0 pitch to Kobe Carr from Gerhardt. There's a ground ball to the left side, fielded by the shortstop, and Burgum will go the short way to Kuntz to second, and that will retire the side here in the top of the 7th. No runs, no hits, one hit, no errors, and one man left on base. We head to the bottom of the 7th. Post State has a 3-run lead. You listen to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com.
Summary for the inning, no.
We have changes here to tell you about. Matt Lusk will be on the mound to throw to the bottom of the 7th inning. A.J. Gayden will move over to first base. From second to third is going to be Jake Mayer. At second base is Will Van Camp. And Kobe Carr stays out in right field. Colin Bergman out in left field to try and close this one out.
For Matt Lusk, this will be his team-leading 11th appearance on the year. 21 innings pitched. He does have one start. He's 2-0 on the year. He has 3 of the 4 saves for Post 8. If he's able to close this game down, it would be the 4th save of the year. Has 20 strikeouts in his 21 innings to go with a 3.00 ERA.
And count is 0-2 here to Isaac Huddle. Saw Coach Nas go back to behind home plate to field that to get that foul ball. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That one is just missed low, and it's now 1-2. The big thing with football going to be played here in the fall, that now they've expanded where you can be out to each 15-yard line as a 1-2 is fouled out of play, and it remains at 1-2. But both teams can have their sidelines go out to the 15-yard lines to spread out. And we're kind of talking about that on the way up here, and Coach Nas goes, "Great, that means more room for me to run." Because last year, every time Pierre would get an interception, he'd be running right down the sideline. He would be trying to run on kickoff returns or punt returns. The 1-2 is fouled out off again. So he's excited. He gets a chance to run some more. And I think Coach Steele said the same thing to him. He goes, "Yeah, exactly right. You get more chance to run now because you won't get in trouble if you go to the 15 of the 15. 1-2 is in the dirt now, 2-2.
Coach Nas may have to start running sprints with the boys on in the mornings if he's going to be that active on the sideline with an extra 30 yards of sideline to patrol. You know what?
He is pretty quick over there. 2-2 is looked at for strike 3, and Matt Lusk will start with a strikeout, and that'll bring up now Blake Ahrens, who is in the spot for Cole Schmidt, as he will look to try and get a base hit after he went his 6 2/3 of an inning. But I saw him run a couple times. And once against Spearfish last year on one of Hinkle's pick sixes, he took off and he had a lot of speed. I have to give him credit. There's a ground ball to Stout. Throw to first is low and not picked out at first by Gayden. And that'll be an error. And it will make a runner on first with one out here in the bottom of the 7th. And that'll be up Lucas Burgum.
Yeah, hard hit ball. Stout had to range to his left to pick the ball up and kind of threw the ball on the run, was able to get a fair amount of velocity on it. Unfortunately, ball came in just a little bit low, and A.J. Gayden playing first base, I think probably the first time he's played first base this year, just was not able to pick that throw.
There's the first pitch over to Lucas Burgum. That's over for strike one. He's 0 for 3. This is a safe situation here for Matt Lusk. He comes in with a 3-run lead into the bottom of the 7th inning, so an opportunity to pick up another save, which would be his team-leading fourth of 5 if he does pick it up, as the 0-1's a check swing, does not hold up in time, and it's now 0-2.
If this lead holds, Justin Houlette would be in line for the win, would give him his first win of the year against 2 losses.
0-2. There's a ground ball. Stouts. It goes off of his glove, and it's going to be first and second here with 1 down. And another tough play. They're going to give an infield hit to Lucas Burgum.
Probably the correct call. I mean, it would have been a really good play if Stout could have come up with that, and I doubt they would have been able to turn 2. May have been able to get the lead run at second, but irregardless, Mandan's got something going here in the bottom of the 7th. Runners first and second, 1 out.
First pitch is a swing and a miss to Easton Andreessen, who is 2 for 3, or actually 2 for 2 with an RBI single. He also doubled and scored in the bottom of the 6th inning. He's a tying run. He hit a home run against Post 8 back on June 24th. The 0-1's a foul tip in the mid of Hinkle. Is now 0-2. So he's a threat to go deep. And he represents the tying run here with 1 down in the bottom of the 7th. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That one comes inside, almost hits Andreessen, but he's able to back out of the way. It's now 1-2. On deck is Avery Bogner. He'll be followed by then Drew Gerhardt, who moves in the lineup for Jablonski. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Outside, 2-2. And Matt Lusk trying to find it, trying to get this save. Split the doubleheader here with Mandan.
And much like Post 8 did in the 7th inning, came from behind, actually ended up tying that game and sending it to extra innings. Mandan trying to do the same thing here in game number 2.
2-2 pitch is looked at, buckled Andreessen, and he is down on strikes, and that will make 2 down here in the bottom of the 7th. And here's Avery Bogner, 1 out away from a split here of the doubleheader. Lusk will come set from the stretch. First pitch to Bogner is over for strike 1. 0 for 3 in the ball game. Fielder's choice, reaching on a fielder's choice. Popped up to the shortstop and also out to the left fielder. And it's 3 at-bats. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's upstairs now, 1-1. A little upset that the radar gun is no longer active here.
Yeah,
the night.
Matt Lusk showing some good velocity on his fastball right now, and probably some of the better velocity we've seen all night out of pitchers from either side.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one is outside now, 2-1. So again, that tying run is at the plate here in the bottom of the 7th. 7-4 lead here for the 8s. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Oh, that one a hit right in the square in the back of Bogner. And now the bases are loaded here with 2 down. And Gerhardt will come to the plate. We will have a runner for Bogner.
I think this
is going to be Freilich.
Yeah, Freilich coming to the plate.
So,
Matt Lusk has kind of settled into that. I don't know if you want to call him that closer role, but just has been a real reliable late inning arm for the 8s over the last couple of years, and so even though he's got himself into a little bit of a situation here, we'll see if he can retire this and get this 3rd out for the 8s, and then like you said, John, come out of here with a split tonight.
First pitch is misses upstairs for ball 1. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That is over for strike 1. Now 1-1. Look at Freilich in the last game. Went 1 for 4 in the ball game. They have action the bullpen down the right field side because Gerhardt is going to be done with Freilich coming in to hit. Swing and a miss is now 1-2. Although Freilich couldn't win the ball game with a home run. It looked like he was trying to do that. It looked like he was trying to hit that about 30 feet over the top of the 17-foot high fence out in left field. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Upstairs, 2-2.
Freilich thought about it. He kind of clutched and as that off-speed stuff was coming, as that off-speed pitch from Lusk was coming in.
Lusk from the windup. Here is the 2-2. That one will miss in the turf. Now 3-2. Everybody will get a head start. So a shot to the gap could tie the ball game up from Freilich. Bases are loaded here with 2 down. Here in the bottom of the 7th. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and Matt Lusk will get the save. Post 8 will salvage the doubleheader and earn the split against Mandan. No runs scored in the inning, and 1 hit, 1 error, and 3 men left on base. 7-4 win for Post 8 in Game 2. We will step aside for 2 minutes, come back to wrap it up. You're listening to Post 8 Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Mandan one final time, Post 8 wins 7-4 in game number 2, as Justin Hulett will pick up the win going 6 innings, and Matt Lusk will pick up the save in 1 inning of work, his 4th of the year. Justin Hulett picks up his first win of the year. Greg, as Greg Dean joins me here in the broadcast booth, and Greg, your thoughts on that second game and the win for Post 8?
Yeah, and again, a good offensive night for Post 8. They put up 15 runs in the first game, 7 runs on 14 hits here in game number 2. So nothing wrong with the offense. Just unfortunately, in that first game, they dug themselves a little bit too big of a hole early on in that game, and almost dug themselves out of it. But good effort here in game number 2 to come away with a split, and now they get ready for Spearfish on Friday.
Yeah, Spearfish on Friday. First pitch of that doubleheader is going to be at 5 o'clock from Hyde Stadium. We'll have both those games for you right here on today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com, as they look to potentially, if they can win that doubleheader and sweep that doubleheader, they go to 11 games over 500, and that would be a good start to go into the postseason. And you hope that maybe you can find your way into that number 4 seed, but things have gotten a little bit tougher as the games didn't go the way that Post 8 would like in the South Dakota teams that were playing tonight.
Yeah, and unofficially, by our math up here in the press box, we think that Post 8 has probably fallen into the 5th spot in the standings. Has fallen fractions of a point behind Renner tonight, with Renner beating Mitchell. The other thing that will complicate matters is now Sioux Falls East has lost their doubleheader against Brandon tonight. So that hurts Post 8's seed points as well. So we'll just have to see how things go for Post 8 coming down the line over the next couple of days. Again, a lot of moving parts in these standings, and we'll just have to see where everything shakes out come Friday.
Post State, they will host Spearfish on Friday in that doubleheader, as we'll be on the air at 4:45 for that doubleheader for that 5 o'clock first pitch for the final 2 regular season games for Post State as they take on Spearfish. Post State falls in game 1, 16-15 in 8 innings. They win game 2, 7-4. For Greg Dean to my left, thanks to Ryan Warren back at the station. I'm John Winkler on the air, 4:45 on Friday as Post State faces Spearfish to wrap up the 2020 regular season. Final scores once again: game 1 as they win for Mandan in 8 innings. They win 16-15, and Post State earns the split in game 2 as they win 7-4. As we say, so long from Mandan.